to be the worst gambler on earth? We are about to find out on the
Are we
next
live right
episode
now?
of Betting the Diagonal in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, you degenerates, to the number one gambling podcast in the world. I'm Billy, and I'm here with my buddy Greg and my loser friend Morgan, who, oh boy, how the tables have turned. Oh boy. That slime is just, the book just getting after you. How do you feeling? How you feeling tonight, Morgan?
I'm feeling great, Bill. It's been a great week. We're doing great after a hot early start in the NHL. NBA, we continue to kill it, and that's about all I've got.
Yeah, let's just ignore the back-to-back 1 in 5 days in college basketball after
Just forget
self-proclaiming.
about it. Forget
Eh,
about it.
We've gone a
No,
little cold.
no,
We've
no,
gone a
no,
little
no.
cold in college basketball. We've gone a little cold. It happens. You're going to win some. You're going to
I
lose some.
got.
What does Greg always say? What does my man Greg always say?
It's just money, baby.
I
That's
agree
right.
with that. But I will not allow myself to get slandered on my own show for
I'm
45
sliming
minutes.
myself.
For 45 minutes, it was, you don't get to speak. You don't get to speak. And here we are. That's called karma, my friend. I just wanted to say that. Shout out to both of our home team hockey, Islanders, with a big rivalry win. Easy money. Shout out to Greg
Easy.
for calling that one out. I refuse
Yes,
to bet
sir.
on my team. That's what we call reverse juju. If you listen to Tuesday's episode, I told everybody to take the Rangers because I knew the Islanders were going to win. I needed that reverse juju.
Mm-hmm.
And Morgan, big win against Pittsburgh the other day with your Flyers. Not as convincing of a win as the Islanders had, but it
It's
was
all
a
right.
good win.
That's all right. We sent them Yinzers back to where they belong.
Yeah, no, it was a good win. It was a good win.
It was a good one.
Great win. It was a great win. It showed the depth that my team has, that we can score goals. Loved it. Nolan Patrick coming back, hasn't played since August of 29 or April of 2019. Great to have him back out there. Oscar Lindblom, great to have him back there after battling back from sarcoma cancer. It was awesome to have him back. He scored a goal. He took a puck off the head and got a goal. That's what
Yeah.
this team does. We're fucking grinders.
Yeah, he took a puck off the head because they don't even know where they are. That's what happened. Our Islanders played possibly the best power play game they've ever played tonight.
Best I've seen in years.
Yep, it was
Clicking
wonderful.
from the get-go. Clicking from the get-go.
Greg, you can speak about it more. I was at work for half the game, so do you have any
Yeah.
takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a beautiful game that they played. Rangers they weren't up for the kill that the Islanders brought them. We scored one real quick on the power play. Should have had a second power play right away. Anders Lee got a high stick to the mouth. He's right down the middle of his face. He's bleeding. They don't call it. He comes right back down the ice, puts one in the back of the net. Karma's a bitch. Referee looks at him like, dude, my bad. Should have called it. We got the goal anyway. But the power play worked really well tonight. I believe we scored twice on the power play. We scored a fifth goal that was called back. But what are you going to do? 4-0 looks pretty good in game one. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. I don't think that the Rangers' young guys were ready for the rivalry. The Islanders came out hot as can be, like in the fashion that you should for this rivalry, and I don't think the kids were ready for it. Varley was on his playoff momentum from last year. Complete shutout, couldn't do a damn thing. Oh, come on with your tongue out, Morgan. He tended the goal better than anybody in the league today.
I do
loved
have a
it.
question about that game today, just because I didn't see it. This is a question I guess more for Greg, not
Mhm.
necessarily about the Islanders, but how did Mr. Number One overall, Alexis Lafreniere, look? Was he noticeable at all? Did he look anything?
Lafreniere, he only had, I believe, I didn't hear his name very often. He had one shot on net. He was a -1 for the game. And he took a penalty also, which led to a goal. So,
Oof.
ultimately, not the best game. And welcome to the NFL, Shesterkin.
NHL, you mean?
NHL, what is that? NFL,
Ooh.
welcome to the NHL.
We have a new quarterback for the Jets, Igor Shesterkin.
Igor Shesterkin.
I've had a feeling that he would have the jitters. I don't know. Like there was a lot of talk for him to win the Calder, and I was like, I don't know, a goalie winning it. He will be the starter. And listen, yeah, he got lit up tonight. The kid is a
Hmm.
stud. He's a stud. He
I'm
definitely
sure he
is.
is. I'm sure he will be for sure. But the Islanders came out hot and put 2 goals back within, I believe it was the first 6 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that wore the jitters off a little bit because he let up two for the rest of the game, made 29 saves. So ultimately, he did look good with the aggressiveness that the Islanders came out with for 60 minutes. Like they
Mm-hmm.
played a complete game. They were really putting it on him. And
That's what we like to see.
yeah, they slid it by him a couple times in the beginning, and the Rangers just weren't able to answer back at all.
Yeah. So we were going to go into the NFL first, but we might as well just go into the NHL since we're already here. Quick
Okay.
recap: we've killed it so
Yeah,
far in the
everyone,
NHL.
everyone so
Yeah,
far.
I hit the Lightning and Lightning 1.5 in the Caps parlay. Privately, not on Twitter, I hit another two parlays that involved both those teams in the third and the Canes. Um, but I love hockey. I kind of know a lot. I watch a lot of it, so like it's easy. It's easy to pick a winner because you're not relying on a team to win by 12. You know, I
Hmm.
love betting on hockey. I love it.
Yeah, as do I. And the momentum swings are, like no other. You could
Hmm.
be down by 2 goals and you could have a lead within 5 minutes.
Yep.
It swings in different favors so quickly.
That was like the game last night. What game that I sent in the group chat last night? I think it was the Toronto game.
Hmm.
I think it was a
Oh
tie
yeah,
Yeah,
game,
yep.
and like
You're
instead
like,
of like
Morgan, do I
saying
get in on
like,
this right now?
yeah, I was like, should I get in on this? I wound up pushing. It was -1, but it was at +600. So I was like, hey, who knows? There's I think 6 minutes left. I was like, who's got momentum? I want to know who has momentum. That's what I said. And Morgan's like, oh, Toronto's got momentum by 4. They wound up winning by 1. I was kind of hoping for that empty netter. The worst thing you're gonna do on a live bet, you're just gonna push it and you just get your money back.
hmm
So I was happy. Everybody was happy. It would have
yeah.
sucked if Morgan would
Push
have
is a
lied to
win.
me.
I
See,
mean,
see, we had this conversation before. You guys told me a push is a loss.
Push is a win.
So then why am I not adding my wins, my pushes to
I'm
my
I'm
wins?
I'm not talking about in that sense. I'm talking about in the
no,
sense that I'm not gaining or losing
yeah,
anything. No harm,
a
no foul.
push
I know what you
for me, a push is just a wash for me.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
a wash.
It's floating away.
No harm, no foul.
I do hate when that happens, and it's a very emotional back and forth game, and you think you have it, then you don't think you have it anymore, and then you think you have it again, and then the heart wrenching feeling that a push can give you. It's very bittersweet.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's
Yeah.
brutal. I've had 8 of them on Twitter for college basketball to start the year. Morgan's got 4. None in the NBA. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm not a big NBA better. Morgan
Hmm.
trying to force me into it, and I still hate the NBA. It still stinks. Still trash product. But um, I don't see too many pushes in the NBA at all. I
Yeah.
hate I
But
hate pushing. It's to me it's just as bad as a loss
yeah.
because I should have won that game. Is what it tells me.
Hmm. Boys, overview. I know I went 3-1 today. Well, how did you guys do?
I went 1-1 and my parlay cashed.
Okay. And Morgan,
I
I know you
am.
went 3-0.
I'm currently 3-0 with a fourth pending right now with the Vegas Golden Knights now up 4-2 in
Hey,
the
let's
late in the
go.
third. So we're
Let's
looking at
go,
a 4-0
boys.
day possibly.
Yes,
Awesome.
sir.
So that's a current 7-2 for the day, with a possible 8 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
8-2, excuse me.
With the parlay, with the parlay
We're not
winner,
betting the diagonal. We're betting the puck now.
betting the
Yeah.
puck. Um,
I'm into puck stuff.
I bet you are. Since I'm talking about that parlay, I'm gonna run that parlay back tomorrow. I don't know about you guys, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's fair.
Last time I checked, the Lightning are still a lot better than Chicago.
Hmm.
And last time I checked, the Capitals are still a lot better than Buffalo. So I don't see any reason why I shouldn't bet the game again.
It was just those two teams?
The one that I put on Twitter, yes. I also had a parlay with uh, the Canes,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Canes um,
Okay.
and the Lightning as well. But
Cool.
those didn't pay out as well.
Okay. All right, yeah. I
Yeah,
would definitely run that back.
yeah. I'm gonna run it back until it don't work.
Yeah.
I don't
So
hate it. I don't hate it. The only one that I would throw a little hesitation towards is maybe the Sabres Capital game. But I mean,
how so?
I said the other night, hammer the Lightning. I'm going to say hammer the Lightning forever. It's just the
Mm-hmm.
Lightning are head and shoulders better than the Blackhawks are. Like that division is a fucking joke. Like how
Yeah.
this alignment worked out. Our division, the East, is ridiculously stacked,
Mm-hmm.
and that Central Division is just a complete mockery of a
Mm-hmm.
division. Like think about all the teams in our division are all legitimate playoff contenders, and only four of them are going to make it. Like that is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I I just don't Capitals. I don't know. I just they're an older team, so I don't. I mean, I still like them. I'd still lean their money line for the Capitals for sure, but I wouldn't be as confident. I think in them as I was the other night, and then again as in Tampa Bay going into this one. Tampa Bay's just younger. They're faster. Speed kills
Yeah.
in today's
Tampa's the
NHL.
lock.
Yeah, like
It's I don't like that word, but Chicago stinks. That game should have been 7-0. I watched most of that game. Chicago, they took it
we're
easy
a
on towards the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
we are a far cry from the days of the Chicago Blackhawk dynasty with
I missed
Patty
that team.
Kane and all
I
those
That
missed
was
guys.
that
a
team.
hell of a team.
Those were
Yeah.
fun teams. I mean, they
Very
beat
fun.
me in the cup, which really sucked, but they
Mm-hmm.
were fun teams to watch. Listen, Chelsea Dagger every time they scored. That
Mm-hmm.
was a good time.
Absolutely. And I know Morgan is also on this, and I might add this to the parlay or change it up. I haven't decided yet. There's no official Twitter pick yet, but it will be the Leafs as well. Leafs money line, I like that too. And Morgan kind of talked me into it a little bit. So, Morgan, why don't you go ahead and talk about that game?
Yeah, I like the Leafs. Who we got? Canadians with them again tomorrow. I don't
Yeah,
know.
every game's going to be back to back, I think.
Yeah, like it's the Leafs are. I'm sorry. It's Ottawa tomorrow actually with
Oh,
the
it is?
Leafs. That to me honestly is even more hammer the Leafs maple money line. Ottawa is arguably right down there with Chicago and Detroit as the worst teams in the league, and it was hysterical because Ottawa didn't have their first round pick this last year. It got sent to Colorado, whom is one of the very best teams in the league. So Ottawa is is going to stink for a while. So they brought in Matt Murray as their new goalie this year. Matt Murray fell out of favor very fast in Pittsburgh. Really started getting rattled. The Flyers were really getting in his head. His little buddies up, those Yinzers up there, were booing him quite a bit, throwing terrible towels at him, and he was slipping all over the ice and everything. So I don't think they're going to be very good. They're Ottawa stinks. They're not a good team. They're a young team. They're in full-fledged rebuild mode with Tim Stoltz and all their other young guys. So I definitely would love the Maple Leafs in that game.
Yep. Would you take the 1.5, or are you just going to go straight the money line?
Honestly, I'd probably take both.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the difference
Either.
because like I explained it on Tuesday. Usually I like to bet 2 game parlays for NHL. I just find betting the money line just in general, like right now Tampa Bay is minus 280. There's no value in that to me. So
I'd feel very good taking the plus 116, laying 1.5 for the Leafs. I'd
yeah,
feel very
Mm-hmm.
confident
I have
with
I
that.
have plus 125.
Okay. You
So
got a
a
better.
Lightning minus 1.5 and a Leafs 1.5 pays out 350 plus 315.
Yeah, I don't hate
Nice.
that at all.
Yeah.
Not in the slightest, because I mean, like I said, the Lightning are just an offensive juggernaut. They waive Tyler Johnson in the offseason just to bring him right back. He's going to be great for them as a second line, third line center. Braden Point is one of the most underrated players in the league. You could arguably make a case he's a top 10 player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Stamkos isn't the Stamkos of old. He's beaten up. He's got a lot of injuries, but he's still a sniper, and he's still very fast. Victor Hedman's the best defenseman in the league. We went over Vasilevsky the other night. arguably the best goalie in the league. They're not gonna. They got a great defense, great offense. They're gonna win most nights. I think they're gonna win handily most nights.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. Greg, besides those three games, do you have anything else
Um,
on the NHL, or you want to give your take on or opinion on either one of those any of those games you just went?
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go Lightning 1.5 again against the Blackhawks. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number one play of the night. I'm gonna back the Capitals again. Uh,
See,
it got a
a man towards
little
my heart.
yeah, it got a little frisky, towards the end, but I don't see it going the same way tomorrow. I think they'll handle Buffalo pretty handily. And yeah, and everybody got into the action in that game, which I love to see, which makes me feel even more comfortable. Oshie had 3 points. Uh, what's his name? Backstrom had points. Ovechkin had 2 assists. So the fluidity of that offense looked very good, and I feel comfortable taking them again at a -135 money line against a team they just beat and scored 6 goals against. Um, last one I have here, and Billy, I know this hurts. I'm sorry. Um, I'm gonna go with Blues Avs over 6. I only say this because for people that listened previously, I had called Blues Avs over 5.5 in their opening game, which Billy did not have on his card until I explained why he
Yep.
should have it on his card. With that being said, they
It's the only
scored three.
reason. Sorry to cut you off, but it's the only reason why I currently have a losing overall record.
I completely understand that. Yeah, so in that game they scored 3 goals in the first period. Me, Billy, Morgan, we're all in this group chat texting back and forth. I'm saying this looks like gold. This is great. They go with a scoreless second period. We're like, yikes, this ain't looking good. And then by the
He's
halfway
got
through the
all these
third,
quotes messed up. You can keep talking. I'm pulling this exact quote up.
I'm messing the words up.
Yeah, you're beating around the bush a little bit.
Well,
You're beating around the bush.
I said it looked great. It was looking good.
He said,
Um, but either way,
"Attitudes
I
over."
mushed it. Either way, from what I said, I mushed it. And they went scoreless until late in the third, I believe, where they put one more back. It was a 4-1 final. And I don't see it happening again. I am going to take the over 6, even though it's up a half goal. I'm taking over 6.
So, just to clarify in the exact words Greg said,
Mm-hmm.
Avs Blues over is gold. I didn't. I said down boy. Then I started to make fun of Morgan because we were in a real sweat fest over Texas Tech. So we were kind of ignoring Greg at that point while he's watching hockey. And then he comes back and tries to reply, Blues Avs over with a fire emoji. And then he said, I'll take a 6 in one day. I promise the people I do better and look at me now."
Yikes!
Right? And then
Yikes!
what did he say? Um there's one more. There's one more. Oh,
Yeah.
Greg, you jujued the shit out of this bet. Yeah, dot dot dot. Probably your fault, scumbag. I hate you. I just wanted to clarify. That's all.
That
It's
is
all
how it
love.
went. It's all coming back to me now.
It's only money.
It's all
That's
coming
all
back.
it is. But I'm backing it again. I'm doubling down.
Okay, you do
I
that. I'm staying
respect it.
far
I
away from that.
respect it.
This is
I
like in
respect
a
it too.
this is like an 11 versus 5. I'm doubling down.
Yep, you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into some NFL. It's division weekend. Not too many games. There's some good games. These are all going to be good games, I think, except
Yeah, I agree.
maybe the exception of one. But I think these are all going to be close games, and the line kind of all the lines kind of say so. So let's start off with the first game of the weekend. What was it? I think 3:15 kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Rams versus Packers. Packers 6.5 favorites. The over under is 45.5. Let's kick it to Morgan, see what he likes, see what he doesn't like. This way we can fade him at all costs because he doesn't know a damn thing about the NFL.
All right, let's all hop on my plane. We're going to fly out to Lambeau. It's going to be 33 degrees in Lambeau. It's going to be cold. This isn't Southern California out in LA. All right, it's going to be cold. Rams, who the hell knows who's going to be playing quarterback? Is it going to be Goff with a
Goff.
busted up finger? Is it going to
It's
be Goff?
Goff.
It's
All right,
Goff,
he's got a
Guaranteed
officially.
Goff.
Yeah,
busted ass
Wofford is
finger.
now
He's
inactive.
shot. He's done. Packers this year. I'm on the Packers minus 6.5. Couple fun stats. Packers are 7-1 against the spread this year at home. Love it already right there. So far against teams with winning records this season, they're 10-4 against the spread. As a home favorite against the spread, they're 5-3 with an average margin of victory of 12.1 points. Love that. And
Mm-hmm.
in their past, since 2015 in the playoffs, they are 5-2 against the spread at home. So all of those numbers right there point to me that this is going to be a nice win for the Packers. You have the team traveling from the West Coast to Green Bay. Defense, yes. Defense typically will travel. Obviously, the offense will not. So I don't think it's going to be a super high-scoring game by any means because that Ram defense is pretty decent. However, the Packers also have a very good, even without David Bakhtiari, a very good offensive line who has only given up pressure on 20% of snaps this season against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was only sacked 20 times the entire season, one of the lowest numbers in the entire league. So I do not expect much to come from the Rams. They're going to have to lean heavily, I believe, on Cam Akers. I do not believe that Cam Akers will be able to replicate the success that he had last week against the Seahawks, which is not quite the same caliber defense, in my opinion, as the Packers is. Packers defense is built for this time of year. The Packers team is built for this time of year with Devontae Adams out there, Robert Tonyan. This is a great time to get him more involved. Two-headed monster that's going to be three-headed monster is going to become Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, and A.J. Dillon. This is the great time of year to have that power back in A.J. Dillon. We saw a couple weeks ago what he did with extended carries. He ended a game with over 80 yards rushing. I think you're going to see a little bit more of him at this time because he can just plow through that line. Thoughts?
You're
Yeah,
wrong.
no,
This
I
guy.
think you're
Here he
wrong on
goes again.
every.
Here he goes
I
again.
Go
love
ahead,
all
Bill.
those stats. No, let me explain this to you. Let me break this down. First, the rushing stat about Green Bay being a good defensive rushing team, they're actually worse. Per attempt,
I didn't say
per
they were
pass
much sad. I
attempts
said,
to
in
running
my
backs
opinion, I think they're
worse
better.
than
than
what?
Seahawks, what he said.
Okay.
So, in theory, what he said was Cam Akers won't repeat his performance. I think he does a little bit less, but it'll be enough to get the job done. I'm on the line. Actually, I just got a 7 on my online book, so I'm taking the 7 without a doubt. Give me the touchdown. The Rams are going to be healthy. There's all these questions last week, this and that. Donald will be good to go. The best player in football, hands down, against a banged up offensive line. I love that. I'll take the 7 and give me the first half under 24. Because I don't want to take the full game under because in typical Aaron Rodgers fashion, we could see a last second Hail Mary because this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game, and the Rams are firing on all cylinders on defense. So if it comes down to a Hail Mary, just like we saw last week where they don't kick the extra point, it's a 6. I'll gladly take the 7. Do you
Okay.
agree or you disagree there, Greggy?
I disagree. I find that to be bold, all of those takes.
Mm-mm.
I find them to
That's
be
my boy.
pretty
That is my
bold.
boy.
Yeah,
I knew I could count on him.
yes, sir. I mean, even with Bakhtiari out, they have, a top tier offensive line. Yeah, Lindsley, he's one of the best out there. Their whole offensive line is graded in the top 20 at their position, with a few of them being in the top 5. Um, with that being said, I think they open up holes even against, the Rams defense, who is, arguably one of the better in the league. Um, I think Cam Akers does not repeat what he did last week against Seattle, and I think game script is going to have a lot to do with that. I think Packers are going to get ahead early, and Jalen Ramsey, he's going to be shadowing Devontae Adams, which could mean, one of two things. He shuts him down, and Scantling and St. Brown and Lazard and Tanyan, they all find their way across the field. Rodgers finds open receivers. He threads the needle wherever there is an open space. The running attack, it'll be there. And I think the Packers, well, the other way it could go is Adams cooks, as he always does. But I see the Packers taking this game pretty handily. I'm going to take the 6.5. I actually, if you guys remember, I sent a picture in the group. I have a 6-team teaser that is a Packers +1 away from winning 450.
It's bold.
I
It's
like
bold.
that.
I never said. First off, I'd like to clarify that I never said I think the Rams can win this game.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
know you
saying the
didn't.
Rams are going to win this game. So,
I just
I'm
think it's
rooting for you
bold
+1.
because, thank you, because I think the Packers can win this game by 2 touchdowns.
I don't see them winning by 2 touchdowns.
I
The Rams have the third best rush defense in the league, the best pass defense by 25 yards per game. It's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
With Ramsey out 3 games this year, with their linebackers being banged up all year. And back to Morgan's quick rushing stat, that's absolutely asinine and just flat out wrong. Green Bay allows 4.7 yards per carry. Seattle averages 3.8, so almost a full yard
See,
per
this
carry.
this was not a stat. This was an opinion. This was my opinion. I believe that Green Bay's rush defense. It's not based off a stat.
Oh,
I just think that their rush defense is better than Seattle's is. There's not a stat behind that one.
You know what?
That is that is my
doesn't
opinion. I
correlate
believe
to
they are
this
a
game.
better defense.
This doesn't really correlate to this game. I'm gonna say it anyway. It makes sense why you went 1-12 in fantasy football with your opinion based. You know what I mean? Like,
Yikes!
I'm just saying. So, do you guys like over under, or you're not touching it?
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching
I'm not touching, but I like the under.
I like the first half under 24 because I don't want some shenanigans to happen with Aaron Rodgers.
I think the conditions are going to play a factor just because of how cold it is. The team coming from LA playing that. Goff is not at 100%. I think he's just got a lot of beat up at this point in time of the year. I definitely lean the under in this game for sure. But I as of right now, I'm not touching it.
Exactly. I mean, Goff's his thumb is the injury, right?
Yes.
His thumb is falling off.
Yeah, I mean, in
It's not falling off
33-degree
anymore. It's
weather,
surgery. It's all good to go.
It's
all
one
good
hit
to
away
go.
from being ripped off.
Well, then he'll just throw lefty.
Yeah, you're bringing
He
Johnny
can barely
Hecker as
throw
your emergency
righty as
quarterback.
it is.
Have you seen that man kick a ball? Come on,
Johnny
you know we can throw it at least 20 yards. They don't throw the ball downfield anyway.
Exactly, but I mean, in 33-degree weather, it's not going to take much for him to re-injure that thumb. And I mean, it could definitely get stiff out there. If you're going to lean on Cam Akers, game script is going to make it so you are not going to lean on him for very long.
That's fair. So I was just looking at like the prop builder. They have over under 74.5 Cam Akers, over under 11 for Malcolm Brown. How do you feel about the Malcolm Brown over under 11? Or you're just not? Yeah, not because I know you're a big DFS guy.
I have
sorry,
a lot of anger in my. I have a lot of anger in my heart towards Malcolm Brown because I spent a lot of money in fantasy league on him on a waiver pickup after week 1 this year to make him my lead back, and he did nothing pretty much the rest of the season. I had no running backs. We've been over this. I didn't draft running backs this year. Didn't work. Bad strategy. I went 1-12. Was not a good year. So I have a lot of animosity towards him. I don't think I'd take the under. Honestly, I don't think he's getting over that number.
Yeah, I'd look at his receiving over his rushing
I don't
totals.
have it up. The last one that I probably will wind up playing, the value isn't great, but it seems like free money to me, is over 6.5 catches for Devontae Adams, minus 140. I feel like it's free.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%.
Yep. Let's move on. Let's move on to another cold possibly snow. Now not looking like snow. Ravens going into Buffalo. Nobody circles the wagon like Buffalo. 2.5 point favorites, or two if you're lucky. I only see 2.5.
Mhm.
Over under is 49.5, which is down from 50.5. Uh, let's start with Greg. Greg, what do you like?
I am a big fan of Bills minus 2.5. Um, I just think the writing's on the wall. Lamar Jackson is not a clutch quarterback. I mean, he's going to do it with his legs, but I think the Bills' offense has too much talent to keep up with the Ravens' offensive prowess. I mean, all it takes is a couple of drives for the Bills to bottle up that running game that the Ravens have, and you're already down by 2, 3 scores. And I just don't think the Ravens have the firepower in the passing game to catch up. And I mean, the Ravens have a solid defense, but you know, Josh Allen has thrown on everybody this year. Stephon
Very true.
Diggs looks uncoverable. It doesn't matter who's on him. He finds
Here's a
ways to
fun
get open.
fun
Yeah, go ahead,
question
Morgan.
for you.
Sure.
This isn't a Saturday. Fun question. Who do you think looks more uncoverable right now, Devontae Smith or Stephon Diggs?
We talking at the level that they play at?
At the level they play. At the level they play.
Uh,
I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I'm not saying the right or wrong answer. I'm just curious what your take would be because they both look very uncoverable to me.
It's
they
got to be
do,
Smith.
and my answer would be Diggs.
Wow. Okay.
And
I don't hate that. I think I probably lean Diggs more also.
yeah, and
Mm,
I only say that because of the level that they play at and the competence of the players that they're playing against. These are pro level guys that Diggs is running circles around and finding openings and creases in, week out.
hmm
Devontae Smith is running routes against guys that are never going to sniff past the college level.
Very true. But it was based on the level they play at. So it's not as
That is
impressive
true,
when you're
but
doing it
I'm
in the NFL and
I
you're a top
I
tier
agree with
NFL.
what Greg's saying. My thinking on it though is I shifted over just to the body types with Devontae being a much more slim built receiver where he's a buck 75 soaking wet. He'd
mhm,
probably take pads and he's probably like a buck 60.
mhm.
I have a little bit even concerns as we get towards the draft season when we do a draft show and all. I do have some concerns with him moving into the NFL and how that's going to work out for him. But we'll save that for a later day. But I agree
Mhm.
with Greg on Diggs for sure. I just think he is built differently, which I think but it's better for his level of competition versus what the equivalent level of competition would be for Devontae.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I will say that Marlon Humphreys looks like shit, and I don't think he's gonna be able to cover him. I will say that. I would be worried that for my opinion, as I told you, I'm on the Bills bandwagon. Been on the Bills bandwagon. If you know anything about me, I'm a Bills believer. Josh Allen believer. I
Mhm.
will say that defense cannot stop anybody against the run. Everybody has run on them. Baltimore is averaging almost 200 yards per game on the ground. I guess a team that's averaging 134 yards against. Like, God bless you.
Bless
Look,
you.
look at the slime. It's
Thanks.
everywhere. Wait, love
That's
it.
a good one. That was a good one.
In the last 3 games that Baltimore's played, they've averaged 296 yards on the ground. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's all you need. If they
That
can
is a
just run the
lot.
ball I'm not touching the spread. I don't think I have my Bills future, and I think that's enough for me. I'll just be rooting for the Bills, but I'll be on the over. It's supposed to be cold. They said it's gonna snow. Now it doesn't look like snow, but both these offenses can score, and
Mhm.
both these defenses don't look very good. So give me the 49.5. I'll take the over all day long.
I like that.
Yes, sir. Morgan, you have a pick
Yeah,
on this game?
so I do. I have two picks on this game.
Oh
And
goodness.
everybody who's watching this and has listened to this and seen me knows I hate the Ravens. Absolutely hate them. They're frauds. I got blocked by a bunch of soft ass Ravens fans on Twitter this weekend because I was going in about how their organization is trash, how they don't respect the game, and they're classless. So I am hammering the Bills minus 2.5. They are the better team by far. Josh Allen is the better quarterback. Some fun stats for our spread folk listening. Bills 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games. They're on a fucking tear. They are a cash cow right now. As Billy likes to say, they are making that bread for us.
Hey,
Right?
they're bakers.
Um, Another thing that we saw Lamar talking about in his news conference earlier this week, as of right now, there's a 37% chance of snow in Buffalo for this game, and that percentage has been climbing steadily every single day. I like Buffalo's chances in the snow significantly more than I like Baltimore's chances. Speed doesn't kill in snow. What are you going to do when your quarterback can't throw the ball to save his goddamn life, but he can run it? You're shutting him down right there. Uh, as a home favorite, the Bills are 4-2 against the spread this year with an average margin of victory of 6.7 points as well. And they are my other play for this game is I'm taking the over 49 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I have Buffalo is 4-1 to the over this season, while Baltimore is averaging 34.3 points per game over their last 6 games. So I love the over. Now I will say I will put an asterisk next to that right now. The weather is going to play a big factor in my decision if I'm going for the over or not. So I'll be keeping
Yes.
close eyes on that weather to see what happens. But this is the game I am most intrigued by this week. Just because I hate the Ravens more than anything. I like the Bills a lot, and I cannot wait to watch the Ravens lose so I can just go off on these fraud Ravens soft ass fans.
I was gonna say that I was gonna be waiting for it, the total, because it hasn't moved all week. It was at
It is
50,
not.
it went to
No.
51, went back to 49. It's not like it's opened to 50 and it flew up to 54 like some of the other ones. Um, like I think you're safe around either the or anywhere around the 50 mark. You'll get a good sense of what's gonna happen on Saturday. So just keep an eye out for the weather. That was a good point you brought up because I was literally thinking it in my head. I was like, I should probably say, oh, let's just wait till the day of to find out what the weather's going to be like, and then there he goes. Put a little asterisk next to it. Just like your championship. I'm the
Here
king.
he goes.
You know,
I am.
put a little bit of that in there.
Twitter polls do not lie. Twitter polls do not lie.
Listen,
The people know who every now and then a king stumbles, right? It happens. Every now and then those at the top have to come down a little bit. That's fine. No big deal. The people know who to come to. They know this is the guy right here. As I'm saying that, not that it's anything to do with college basketball, but ended up going 3-1 in NBA tonight, which now puts me to 62-35 on the year.
yep,
Just want to throw that out there.
yeah, it's wonderful.
After my 0-9 start.
Yeah, no, you're killing it. I will say you are killing it. Next game on the board, Sunday afternoon, which should be a blowout, which I think is going to be a blowout. I don't know about you guys. Browns versus the Chiefs. Chiefs 10-point favorites. Over under is 57. Yeah, the Browns were a good story last week as the underdog. Greg had them as a live dog, saying they were going to win straight up on the money line. Great call by Greg. I would like to say that secondary of the Browns is absolute garbage. Everybody on that wide receiver core, tight ends, their backups of backups of backups can burn the Browns secondary. Therefore, I'm going to take the 10. I very rarely lay the 10 on in the NFL. I don't do the double digit thing. Here I am saying I'm going to take it. Give me the Chiefs minus 10 just because they're the better team. What do you guys got?
I am going to stick and ride with my Cleveland Browns. I'm not calling an upset. I'm not calling that whatsoever. But 10 points is a lot of points in the NFL. And I'm not going to take that for granted. You know, the Browns, they've been playing well on offense. They're clicking. Baker's finding open receivers. The running game is working to a T. Sure, the defense is a gaping black hole, but I think that Baker can make enough plays to cover a 10-point spread. It's just I think it's going to come down to a battle of the turnovers, and if he can keep those to a minimum, then the game will be a close one.
Yeah, we'll see. Morgan, give us some stats. Let us know what you got.
Chiefs. All right, first off, I'm on the Chiefs -10. Greg, you're drunk right now. Like, completely hammered. I think you've been sniffing some of the yeast or something that the bread maker over here has been cooking with,
Oh,
because
bacon bread, baby.
something's going on in there.
Alabama.
Chiefs, I have Chiefs. That was a good one. That was a
That's
good
fair.
counterpoint
That's
right
fair.
there. All right, I'll give you that.
Thanks.
I have Chiefs -10. A couple things that I'm looking at in this game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire being out is going to push Kansas City to pass the ball significantly more. The Browns this season have given up just under 2,100 yards total through the air on the season, which is the fifth most in the league. You know, two teams that happens to be worse than? The Jets and the Jaguars. That number is worse than. Okay? Browns are also the fourth worst red zone touchdown percentage defense. They give up 72% touchdowns when you get into the red zone. Fourth worst in the league. They're going to just march down the field. And as an away team, Cleveland is 4-5 against the spread this season. So I don't think they have a good chance. Arrowhead, if I'm not mistaken, is allowing fans into their stadium and has consistently been rated with whatever First Century Field up there in Seattle as the loudest stadium. Now, granted, obviously, it'll be significantly fewer people, but we cannot discount that home crowd factor that'll be there. So I am all aboard the Chiefs train -10. There is no way, and if I'm going to consider this a bye week, as you would in a sense for a regular season. Andy Reid in his career has only lost 2 games after the bye week. So I'm using that that's a regular season stat, not a playoff stat. However, I do believe it kind of works here just as well, where he will have had time to game plan, will have had time to let his players get healthy, which will be a huge factor.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Don't listen to Greg. He's the new guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Me and Morgan have been doing this all year. I've been steady, right hovering around 50% for NFL, which is almost impressive for somebody who doesn't do this for a living. You know, most people when they do NFL, they handicap NFL, they're like 40. They're lucky to make it to the playoffs with their bankroll still. But here, me and Morgan are still here, chucking along. I've had the same amount of money.
I know.
I have not
Yeah,
in my online book, I should say, because I had a bookie, had to fire him, didn't trust him. Everything went south when I started using them. Got rid of them. Now look at me. I'm baking bread, but that is still the same account. I haven't had to re-up it. Nothing since week 1 NFL. I'm still here. I got down to just like the nitty gritty. Like, hey, I gotta play just enough, but I refuse. I'm trying to go a whole year, calendar year without it. Starting, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Don't listen to
All right.
Greg.
All
Browns are
right,
gonna get blown
man.
out.
You don't have to listen to me, but I did go 4-2 last week in wild card round.
Fair, fair.
so here's what it really comes down to. There's all of you
It
guys
was
who are
almost
following
3 and
at
3.
betting a diagonal.
Almost.
Almost. I mean, like I said, what it comes down to, everyone who's following at betting diagonal on Twitter. Yes, I might be a little bit colder right now in football, but for the most good part of the year, I was putting up solid numbers. I was hitting on a good bit. I'm a little struggling right now. Are you going to listen to Billy and I, who have been doing this for a while? Are you going to listen to the guy who finally put up an avatar on his Twitter page today?
Egghead, the
After all
artist
this time,
formerly known as Egghead.
we were getting chirped by eggs and coming back at them when one of
Call
our
me Humpty Dumpty, baby.
You know what a vital ingredient into making a good bread is. Not eggs. I'll tell you that. It's the yeast. The yeast is rising. We've been doing this all year. It has nothing to do with your eggs, Mr. Humpty Dumpty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't believe in you. How do you feel about the over under?
What's the number on it? What'd you say?
57.
57? That's high.
Which way do you
That
lean?
I lean under, but I'm not personally playing it myself. Uh, yeah, I lean under. I'm seeing something like a 27-21 game.
Wow, I lean under as well, but I have the score quite different.
31-24.
That's
You
35-10.
35-10.
35-10.
All right. Well,
That's just my opinion on how the game is going to go.
yeah, we'll
You know.
talk next Tuesday,
I
and
think
Yeah, I'll see
here's
you next Tuesday.
here's how
I'll
I
be
think this
here.
game is going to play out. This is how I think this game is going to play out because it's just poetic justice. It's going to be a close game in the first half. probably going into the second quarter. And I'm thinking it's going to be like a 13-10 game, and the Browns come down the field a little bit. And Mr. Cody Parkey is going to doink one off the fucking side again. And the Browns are just going to completely unravel. Baker is going to go back into being old Baker, where he throws it out of the end zone. He fucking throws it right to the defense every single time. And just like that, I think it'll end up being a 28-10 final.
28-10. That
All
covers the
right.
spread and the under. I like it.
I mean, when this game is either tied or the Browns are winning at halftime, and you guys text me on Sunday,
Just
Oh, we won't text you. We'll wait for you to text us.
yeah,
because you know I will.
yeah, because that's what happened last night. And look at the result. Bad juju. You know what happened in the Super Bowl last year? Who was down? Chiefs, right? They were losing. What happened? Came back and won. And what else did they do? Oh, they covered the spread too, didn't they? Yeah. Because you know what Patrick Mahomes does?
He wins.
He wins
Just win, baby.
and he covers. I love it. Well, we got to move on. Last game.
Oh, I do want to double back to something actually real fast that I did
Go
write
ahead.
down that I meant to talk about. This has to do with the Bills-Ravens game.
Jeez.
Josh Allen is the most profitable quarterback in the NFL against the spread.
Not surprised.
He is 26-5 against the spread in the past
Text me
3
that
seasons.
so I can save that. I need that.
Yeah, I had it written down. I forgot about it. 26-5 in his last 3 seasons
He's
against the spread.
He's
The
what I
most
like to
profitable
call,
quarterback.
He's what I like to call a fellow loaf legend.
Fellow loaf legend. That's
You know where I
some
got that
holy
from?
bread. That's like some
Oh!
That's like some communion bread that you have to go up and pray for beforehand.
This is Morgan. If you don't know how I came up with this, I'm gonna go real quick. When the first time I brought the bread reference onto Twitter, a bread account retweeted my pics,
Oh my god!
and in their bio it said Loaf Legends, and I love it. I'm sticking with it. I'm riding with it. Morgan's yelling at me all week. It's making me hot. I love it. Last game of the weekend is going to be Bucks versus Saints. Saints are 3-point favorites. Over under is 52. Tom Brady versus Drew Brees, round 3, battle of the grandfathers. Let's go right back to Morgan since I don't want him to miss another stat. So let him get them all out before we move on.
I do have an awesome stat about this one. I told Billy this stat the other day.
Mhm.
So it's not going to play into what my pick happens to be, but it's just a fun stat. So in their head-to-head matchups in their career, Breeze versus Brady, who do we think has more touchdown passes head-to-head in those matchups? Boys.
I know the answer.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would
Greg.
think. Oh man, I mean, how many times have they played?
I don't have the exact game number, but I have
It's a bunch of them.
their stats.
I mean, I would think it would be relatively close, and I'd probably lean more towards Breeze.
So fun fact, in their head-to-head matchups, Drew Brees, 18 touchdowns to 1 interception. Okay? Tom Brady, 8 touchdowns to 9 interceptions.
Wow.
Who's the
Pretty
GOAT?
crazy stat right there. Absolutely crazy. Now, that being said, I am taking the Bucks +3. So my big thinking behind the Bucks here. The Bucks are getting hot at the right time. We see it every single year. There's that team at the end who gets hot at the right time. Things are starting to click. Tom Brady at age 43 threw 43 touchdown passes this year. That is absurd. That's
not a coincidence.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hottest team right now, and the Saints are not the hottest team by far. They struggled a little bit with the Bears this past week. They didn't dominate them. They didn't really do much. We didn't get to see enough of this slime shooting off in that Saints game. Unreal. Another way I love this game for the Buccaneers. This is the 3rd time this year they're playing each other. The Saints put up 35 and 34 against the Bucks in the first 2 games. I believe that's it's in the 30s. It might be off a little bit on that number. Against a defense that's very good. The Buccaneers D is a very good defense. Well, what's going to happen this week? That Buccaneer defense is getting Devin White most likely back as well to play in the
Are they?
middle. They're most likely he's probable at this moment.
Like
That's going
that.
to be huge for that defense right there because we all know that Alvin Kamara is kind of a game changer. I'm not
Mhm.
saying Devin White is going to be able to shut down Alvin Kamara, but that gives you someone who can shadow him, who can spy on him, and gives just run with him a little bit. Who's a fast linebacker and stays with him. And big thing that I really go on it because I learned a long, long time now. You don't ever really bet against Tom Brady. Brady's got something to prove right now. He led the Buccaneers team to the playoffs without Bill Belichick, out of the Bill Belichick shadow, kind of in a sense proving right now it was Brady who was doing all the work, and Belichick couldn't get that team into the playoffs. He also got embarrassed last year in the first round of the playoffs. So this is a comeback revenge tour for him right now. So I love the Buccaneers in this game getting 3 points.
Beautiful. Devin White is back, and just because like I scroll down the bottom to try to get my result, there's a quote that I would like to read. If it's Drew Brees' last game, I need to get a pick and a sack off of him. That's something that's going to happen. I have to make a big play against Drew Brees. I feel pretty good about my chances about it.
I love Devin White.
I
Him,
do
and
too.
Roquan Smith are the two linebackers who are going to take this. Middle linebackers are going to take this league by storm. Roquan had 139 tackles this year. Devin White had battled some injuries, but he might be the fastest linebacker in the league.
Yeah, I like that. I just want to say I think it can go either way, and I'll be taking money line Saints, but I'm not thrilled with it. I'm not thrilled with it because I have a funny feeling that we're going to see the headline Tampa Bay headed to Tampa Bay thanks to Tom Brady. TB to TB and TB. I don't need that. I don't like that. I don't like Tom Brady. I know you don't bet against Tom Brady, but I feel like Drew Brees knows this is probably his last playoff run, and he's going to do everything he can. Even after, how many times did you see in that Bears game the refs just giving them the ball?
Yeah.
It can go either way because the two narratives. The Saints got robbed, and Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback who he's the first person to bring his team to a home playoff, home Super Bowl. I don't know. There's a lot of headlines, a lot of this. My guaranteed pick I will be playing is the over. Two good defenses usually result in an over. 52, I think it's too small. I like it. I'm taking it. Greg, what do you got?
I am on the Tampa Bay money line.
Okay.
I'm going to be playing the money line. You guys have three. I have 2.5.
Well, you stink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do have
but
three.
since I have the 2.5, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm just going to take the money line.
Yeah, you just take the money.
Um, I'm along the lines of you don't bet against Brady in the playoffs. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. He's going to have what looks like not 100% healthy Mike Evans and Godwin, but even at 75, 80%, I take that offense and I run with the punches. Brady in his last 5 games has 14 touchdowns to 1 interception. The Buccaneers have averaged 36 points over their last 5, so they are clicking on all cylinders, honestly. Clearly those stats, they bring to light the offensive power that they do have, but I mean, they haven't been letting up many points either. I'm looking at they let up 7 to the Lions on Thanksgiving. They let up 27 points to the Falcons, but that's some of it was in garbage time. Washington, they scored a late touchdown. So ultimately, that defense is putting in the work as well as the offense, and I think they put together a full performance. And Drew Brees hangs the cleats up with his head held high, and he takes a fresh walk into Canton in a few years.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think I'm changing my pick
I was about to ask you, are you open to
because
change?
only because I have the three. So I have the three available to me. So I will be taking Tampa +3. I don't know. I still lean Saints going to win this game. Yeah, maybe by Sunday, it's a couple days away. Maybe you guys can talk me into it. But the idea that both of you both like Tampa Bay to win this game makes me like the Saints.
I'm
I
very
appreciate the
confused by
honesty.
you right now.
What do you mean? Listen, if you both like, if we all, this happened today. We all took Bryant, and guess what happened? Bryant was a stinker. Mainly
Right, but
because
you
Morgan played it because he doesn't know what he's doing.
but
But
you
it's
started off saying I'm going to be taking Saints money line, and then after I was done talking, you said, "Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Bucks +3," and then,
yeah,
"Yeah, I see
+3.
the Saints
But
winning the
I
game."
still think the Saints can win the game. It could be a 1 point game. It could be a 2 point game. It could be a 3 point game. I don't know. I'll take a
Okay,
push.
okay, all right.
But my play that I did just decide on is I've been trying to figure out who I want to tease the Ravens with. If I want to get it through the 7, I'm going to be teasing Ravens +8 and the Bucks +9. Like the 9 obviously doesn't go through the 10 like you want, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to be a close game anyway. So I'll take that 9 just because I need it. I need something to tease this Ravens game with.
Yeah, I mean, if it does by some stretch get to Bucks +3.5, and you're able to tease it up to 9.5 and buy the half point to make
I
it
would buy the
10,
half.
that's extremely valuable. I know you don't like buying, but in that case, that's a
Yeah.
very valuable buy.
Yeah, like if it got to that point, like it wouldn't be posted on Twitter because I don't post picks that I have to buy points for.
Right.
I would post the 9.5 just and then have like the other gambling accounts that follow us, like
Mm-hmm.
in the community, just shit on me because it's a shit number. But hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the slack for the winner because I think it's gonna be a 1 touchdown game. Um, you guys don't like the over, either one of you? I love the over.
I'm not going to touch it.
I love it.
I'm indifferent on it. I probably lean the over.
I'm taking the under.
Just because for the set, you're such a shit. I fucking rattled me there. I I probably lean the over because kind of how you said, two really good defenses ends up being points usually. Fuck me, I'm flustered now. That's what I got.
All right, so I was gonna kick it back to you for NFL, but should I? Not NFL for NBA. Should I go to Greg first?
Yeah,
So you can get your.
I'm good for some NBA.
Are you sure?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah,
All
I can
right,
pull it
Morgan, give us in under like 5 minutes. We're running a little long. Can you give it to
Yeah,
us in under 5 minutes?
there's not a lot on the NBA card really at the moment. For those who have been tailing me in NBA, I am
You
currently
should be.
60 and 35. I am I'm hot in NBA. Like I'm on a roll. I'm over 70% now in winners after the last two games that hit tonight. I'm just killing it in the NBA. I said from the day one, this is my sport to bet. Early lines that I had that I liked. I like the Clippers -6 tomorrow. They are against Sacramento. Sacramento stinks. They just keep getting crushed left and right. So I love the Clippers. They're kind of really jockeying for position there out west. Mavericks are getting +6 against the Bucks. Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks. So I like the Mavericks getting the points. Porzingis is coming back, so that gives a body down there and someone else with Doncic to work with. I said this earlier with the guys off air. Prop bet that I very much love that is 11-0 this season. I know Billy's going to fade me on this because it has to hit eventually. But Giannis under rebounds is 11-0 this season so far. So I am all over that. A couple other games I don't have lines on them just yet where I'm going to go with them, but Lakers, got to go with the Lakers over the Pelicans. Pelicans have a lot of injuries right now. Zion was ruled out the other day. I believe Ingram and Bledsoe are both out. We don't know who's going to play. The lowest you can get that line, grab it as quick as you possibly can because that's when it's definitely intriguing. I probably would lean Knicks money line against Cleveland as well. I'm sure there will be much more NBA to come. I haven't had a good enough chance to really review the card and everything right now. But if you don't play my NBA picks tomorrow, you're pretty much guaranteed to at least go 3-1 in those plays, just with how hot I am in NBA so far this season.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Morgan. I don't see anybody on the internet hotter than you in NBA. And the world needs to take notice. I will say that the world needs to take notice. You
We
may
do.
possibly, in all honesty, may be the number one NBA handicapper with volume in the world.
I'm
Like
calling a
there's
Okay.
lot of games.
there's people out there that don't miss, but they're playing one game a day, 3 games a week. This kid's betting on 6, 7 games a day,
Yeah,
and he's
right.
hitting with this clip.
You've made 95 picks through the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yep.
Pretty damn
And
impressive to
that's
be at.
just the beginning.
Yeah.
That is going to be up in the 500 range before we know it.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I'm
Yeah,
sure it will
because I
be.
mean I'm already over 300 in college basketball. You're closing in on 300 too, Morgan.
Yeah, and it's I said from day one, NBA is what I know. I started very cold, 0-9. You take out that 0-9 start, I'm 60-26 in the NBA.
That's ridiculous.
I am unbelievable betting the NBA. I might be cold in college right now. I'm still doing somewhat decent. NFL, I have fallen off a cliff. Hockey, I'm doing pretty good at so far, but NBA is where I make. This is where I'm the bread maker when it comes to the NBA.
Listen, you could be part of the Loaf Legends. But
That's
you
it.
disown us. You don't want any part of making the bread. You don't want the yeast to rise. You know, we're
More
trying to
just
create a
remember where
culture.
you came from. Remember where you came
I
from.
will. I
You
will.
came,
I'm gonna have my own. I'm gonna have my own little squad here next to me. We're not gonna be Loaf Legends. We're gonna find something else.
you know where he came from? He came from 0-9. That's where he came from. Similar like what his record is today if you
Started
take out the NBA.
started from the bottom. Now we're here. You take out the
Yeah.
NBA
Okay, Drake.
today. I'm actually. Uh, I went 4-0 in hockey today, also.
Yeah. I mean, straight
So
money lines.
I'm. What are you supposed to bet right now? You don't know what's happening yet. I'm 9-2 so far on the season in the NHL. Like, come
Yeah.
on, come at me.
Like it.
Very
No,
nice.
no, listen, man. We're a team here. At the end of the day, I'm gonna make fun of you for having a shit gambling day, and I wouldn't do it if you didn't give me shit for going 3-9 one day in probably the biggest card we've had on Twitter because I was so confident. You know, I gotta give it back a little bit. Um, Greg has a little surprise for us. He's known to be a little MMA guy.
It
Emphasis
is
on a
my
little.
favorite. It is my favorite.
So, Greg, why don't you break down tomorrow's Saturday's card? Tell us what you got for us.
All right, awesome. So, UFC has taken a little break for the past 3 weeks. I have missed it very much. From being on every weekend, having me have something to watch every Saturday night during the pandemic, it was near and dear to my heart, and I have found my new love and also have been quite profitable. So, with this UFC card on Saturday, which is starting at noon on ABC, this is not a promotion.
Not a
Uh,
sponsor. Hashtag not a
yeah,
sponsor.
yeah, hashtag not a sponsor. But I just need to clarify that for those that are listening because it usually starts in between like 5 and 7 on ESPN Plus. But
Also not a sponsor.
also not a sponsor. Hashtag not a sponsor. But there are some
No
fights on this
free
card
ads.
that I do like. One of those being Spencer Hawes minus 135. The man is a beast. He has one fight in the UFC so far, and his first fight he knocked him out in 18 seconds. He's just a pure fighter. I think this is an easy bet at a minus 135. It's a very generous line. Not giving him enough respect yet. Is that a
I
pause,
got a
Morgan?
question. I got a question. Just because I know nothing about MMA,
Okay.
is this the same Spencer Hawes that used to be the center for the Sixers, or is
Phil
this just a
Hawes.
different guy?
Phil Hawes.
Incorrect.
Uh, what? Now I'm really confused.
His name
He
is
said
Phil
Spencer
Hawes.
Hawes, right? All right, so I'm not crazy. He did say Spencer
Maybe
Hawes,
he's not
right?
the. He's completely botching his chance.
No, I said
You know.
Philippause. It's
Oh, he said
Philippause.
Philip Hawes.
I heard Spencer Hawes, and
Did I say
immediately
Spencer
caught
Hawes?
my eye. Like I was like, "What? Like when did this 7-foot white guy who used to be a center in the NBA become a fighter?"
Yeah, I don't know. but it's Philippos, and he's getting a minus 135. Extremely generous line.
Listen,
All
it
right.
don't matter what his name is, as long as he wins.
As long as he wins, exactly right. Next fight I have here is Max Holloway defeating Calvin Cater. Calvin Cater, great fighter, up and coming. He's going up against the number one contender for the title. Um, I think he gets knocked down a little bit in this fight. Max Holloway should hold the championship right now. In my opinion, he beat Volkanovski 4 rounds out of 5 in that championship fight, and somehow he got robbed in a unanimous decision. Um, I had Volkanovski in that fight, so I can't be upset about it. But Holloway is going to take that fight and have a rematch. I also have a little prop on Joaquin Buckley. He's a minus 240 favorite, which is a little too high for what I would want to play him at. So I'm going to take the KO King at plus 100 to knock him out or you know TKO. DiChirico, who he's fighting, hasn't fought in 2 years, and he lost his 3 fights previously. Joaquin Buckley, he is on a tear, and I think he takes this fight by knockout.
Beautiful.
I also have one underdog play that I want to talk about real quick. Li Jing Liang. He's going up against Ponzibio, who also hasn't fought in 2 years. I expect Ponzibio to be aggressive coming out. He thinks he's going through a great training camp. He's been off for a while. He's going to come out aggressive, and he's going to walk right into a knockout. Li Jing Liang, plus 240 underdog. That's my
I,
play.
w- I was just gonna ask you before you brought up the win by knockout. Is it? Do you? How often do you bet like that? Because that's the way I like to bet. It's like 'cause I'll throw
Yeah.
money at boxing every now and then, just because if it's a big fight, I'll watch it. Like MMA, I have to be with my boys. Otherwise, like I'm not gonna go out and buy the card,
Hmm.
sit in my room, and watch it by myself. It's fun. I love MMA, but I'm not gonna go out and spend the money to do so. Where like because I find it hard to find the stream a lot of times.
Sure.
I
Yes,
don't want
Morgan?
to. I don't.
I
Is
do
he
have
raising his
some
hand?
non MMA kind of sort of breaking news. I don't know if you guys have seen. Josef Nurkic, Blazer center, broke his wrist.
Mm.
Rest in peace.
So that will affect. I don't know if you guys have plays coming out. I know, obviously, Greg. I know you were playing some Blazers earlier this evening, but just so you guys are
Yeah.
aware, kind of big thing to those who are listening. Also,
Yeah, that guy can't stay healthy. Shame. But to answer your question, Bill, I do play props like that relatively often for the fact that Buckley, who I'm taking by KO or TKO, that line is a plus 100, where his money line is minus 240.
Hmm.
Sure, I can play that, but if I can get him at a plus 100, you know, to knock him out when I know you know, he knocks people out left and right.
Yeah,
Four out of his 5 fights have ended in KO or TKO. So, you know, I can feel very comfortable in taking that line and not having it go to a decision.
beautiful. Yeah, like I always enjoyed rooting for the knockout or rooting for the submission over like waiting for a decision. When it comes to the
Hmm.
decisions, like there's always sus calls every now and then.
Exactly. You never want it to go to the judges.
No,
Never.
no, like
And
that's not why I'm watching. Like
exactly.
I
And
love the craft. I love it's an art form. I love it, but I'm looking to watch him get knocked the fuck out.
exactly. Same
You know,
here. And all these guys are trying to do that because you guys might not know this, but there is a $50,000 bonus given out every night for uh, you know
knockout.
there's fight of the night. Yeah, you get a bonus for knocking them out or subbing them. So these guys are looking for the finish. They're not looking to get to the judges' scorecard.
Yeah. Yes, I learned that from playing UFC on PlayStation. actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I did from way back, and I was like, oh, dude, that's fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Greg, hopefully those win.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna see those up on Twitter, right?
Absolutely.
This way we can
I
hold
will
you
have
accountable.
those up. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
have
good
those
job,
up.
Greggy, making posts today.
Thank you, thank you. I'll actually have those picks up on Friday night because, like I said, this card starts at 12, very early for a UFC card. So I want to make sure I get those in so that people can see them.
Yeah, because Greg has a tendency to post his card after the game starts, and you know,
Or just not post his card at all.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then say he went 5-1 with no real proof.
Oh, jeez. I had proof and I showed you guys proof.
Yep. It was like my that one day I took off college basketball. Like I wanted to post that card, like just post my screenshot because I was talking to Morgan literally all day. I was off, and I sent him like the actual bet slip. So almost every game I played, and he was like, "Oh, look, you finally winning." And I was like, "Ah, dude, I want to post this so bad. I'm gonna be called a fraud. I don't want to be called a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be called a fraud."
No.
Um, let's close it out. Um, Greg, you can leave your UFC unless you want to run through them again, like when you talk about your card. I was gonna say you can just save them for Twitter, just because it was kind of long.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. My quick card. I don't have any college basketball plays yet. I was leaning one way. I kind of like Marshall, West Kentucky under 150, but I haven't played it yet. I gotta do more research after this. After this is all done, my card for this weekend is going to be Rams +7. You guys are both wrong. Seven's a touchdown number. I love it. That's begging you to take it, and you guys are falling for the trap. Devontae Adams over 6.5 receptions at -140. I think that's free money. I will take that as well. Buffalo over 49.5. Saints Bucks over. Uh, Chiefs -10. Greg, you're wrong once again. You're gonna ride the worst run football organization in NFL history right into the ground, and I don't understand. You know, it's fine.
We'll talk.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
talk.
talk. We'll talk. Ravens +8 and Bucks +9 teaser, and the I just want to go back to the NHL. Caps money line parlayed with Lightning +1.5, -1.5. Excuse me. Lightning -1.5 by itself, and the Leafs -1.5 by itself as well. Those might be parlayed. Haven't made. I've bet it, but I haven't made it official on Twitter. So that's my card. Greggy, hit us with your card because I really don't want to hear from Morgan what he has to say.
All right, fair enough. This weekend's NFL card, I am going to go with Packers -6.5, Bills -2.5, Cleveland +10, and the Bucks money line. Hockey tomorrow, I am going with Caps money line, Lightning -1.5, and the Blues Avalanche over 6 redemption game for me.
Makes me want to throw up.
um, I didn't get to say this earlier, but my lone NBA play tomorrow will be Chicago Bulls -1 against the Thunder.
Any reason why you
And
want to break it down real quick?
I just think they have way too many scoring options to for the Thunder to keep up with. I don't know if Basley's going to play tomorrow, but that's an interior presence that they may not have. So I think Zach LaVine cooks. Kobe White's going to do his thing, hopefully. And I just think the Bulls pull this one out. I do have, 3 college plays that I will be putting on the card. I've already taken them. I have Hofstra -3.5 against Delaware tomorrow. Oral Roberts -10 over Denver. And Liberty -8 over Stetson.
I like that Liberty play. I still don't. It says Hofstra's playing. I don't have a line for Hofstra on my book. I'm trying to figure out why. Hofstra's done me dirty a few times, so
Yeah, I
I don't know.
luckily had it. But yeah,
Beautiful.
I'll save the time. I'm not gonna repeat the MMA, but it'll be up tomorrow night.
Got it. Morgan, go right ahead.
All right. So now you got to listen to me talk. We're going to take Packers minus 6.5. We're going to go
That's
Bills
not
minus
enough.
2.5. And so Bills minus 2.5 and the over 50 in that Bills Ravens game. Chiefs minus 10. And then Bucks plus 3 with the over 52 as well. Heading to the hardwood right now. This, like I said earlier, this will change a little bit, and there will be additions to this on the Twitter page. But right now, I'm looking at the Clippers minus 6 versus the Kings, and the Mavericks plus 6 versus the Bucks. I'm absolutely going to put something on the Giannis under rebounds. Again, 11-0 so far this season. I love that. After hearing Greg's Bulls pick, I just looked at that for a brief second. I think I'm actually going to be in the opposite end of that if I play that game. Not Timberwolves, Thunder plus 1.5. Bulls can score, however, they have the 28th ranked defense in the league, giving up 121 points per game. And the Thunder like to slow it down a little bit. They're one of the slower paced teams, so this is going to be a lower scoring game. I might look at the under in that game actually as well. Going to the ice, I'm going to go Flyers money line. And I'm leaning the over 6 goals again. I know I took the under the other night. However, the Flyers offense was much more explosive than I thought they would be, which made me very excited as a Flyers fan. I'm definitely going to be on the Lightning minus 1.5. The Lightning are head and shoulders better than the Blackhawks are. Blackhawks might lose every game this entire season. They're that bad.
It's a hot take. They'll win one of them.
I'm gonna be on the Avalanche money line as well, and I do like that Blues game as well. That's something that we'll see what happens on the Twitter page. I don't have a pick yet on that, but I do like the over in that. I don't have a take, I don't have a pick, but I don't hate that. So that's what I got right now.
Beautiful. What was the NBA pick? Opposite Greg? Was that the plus one? Or was that the
Thunder plus 1.5.
I'll take that as well. You could add that to my card.
I do like that.
I'd
right
like
now.
to clarify. This isn't me tailing Morgan. This is me fading Greg. Because as good as Morgan's been, Greg has been worse.
The opposite, complete opposite.
That is true. I started 1-9.
If you do the math on the percentages, Morgan is hitting at 70%. Greg is hitting at 30%. If you get
in Greg's defense, he was 1-9 and he was at 10%, so he's climbing a little bit.
I am.
So I'll give him the credit where credit's due. He's starting to get a little bit better. The player props are killing him. And tonight over 26.5 was a terrible bet. When you got questions about the NBA, come to the guy. Come to the wizard. Right? I know the NBA. I know what's going to happen. That's why I'm very confident that Giannis under rebound tomorrow, Mark, for sure.
Listen, everything has to go back to the mean eventually. That's what I learned. But yes. Anyway, to get our exact picks on what exactly we're gambling on, what we're confident in, follow us at Betting Diagonal on Twitter. Like, follow, subscribe, interact with us. We got a couple interactions today. You know, people talking smack. We're talking smack back. At the end of the day, we're sports guys. We're not like this major corporation. We're here to have fun. We're here to win money. We're here to make this bread, get this bakery going. Follow Greg at Gersh Greg. Get him some follows. He finally has a picture up. Maybe he'll finally get some follows. Follow, was it Mo Watts 26?
Mo Watts 26.
Mo Watts 26. Billy FFD, soon to be the bakery.
Keep throwing likes on the posts. Also, I'm betting the diagonal. Your boy here getting the most likes on most of his picks. I know you guys are loving what I'm throwing out there. Billy is extremely salty about that.
I'm a little
so keep
salty.
him coming my way. You guys voted for me a week or 2 weeks ago now as the king of gambling college basketball. I'm a little cold right now. Your king's cold, but he will heat back up. And once he does, I'll have a nice crown for you guys. And Billy will be my little jester off to the side.
After your last win, my last loss, I would have had more wins than you, but I lost one during the show, so you were still one ahead.
Still on top, baby.
Because I'm not a fraud like Greg pulling out a trophy when he's 30%. I will not pull my trophies out. I have all of them sitting right here, ready to go. There he is again. I'm not
I
doing it.
will bring out. I will bring out my NBA trophy
That's fine. You're more than welcome
because
to.
I,
Nobody's
I
catching you.
have. I think I've no. I have run away, and I will just hide with this title.
That's fine.
This is my NHL trophy, by the way.
I think I have a better NHL record than you currently.
You've played more games.
We told you the record. Um. Anyway, Morgan, close this out real quick. Let's
Yes,
go
so
home. Let's go to bed.
as Billy just said, take a look at our pages on there. Send us some messages. Chirp back and forth with us. I love chirping back and forth. I got 2 people to block me this past week. I'd love to have more people blocking me. It's fun. It's enjoyable, especially if you're a fraud Ravens fan. Come at me. I'm ready to just tear you down. But take a look at us on all the pages, like Billy said. We're here to have fun with you guys. We love to interact. Give us some recommendations. I know Billy and I were talking earlier about maybe getting some more polls and stuff up there. We want to do some more interactive things. We'll get Greg's name in the poll, so if you guys want to give him some pity votes, by all means, throw Greg some followers out there. He wants you to tail his picks. He's doing a good job in NHL right now. I'm very excited for his MMA picks. I don't know anything about MMA, but I will be watching the fights as well. So I'm very intrigued to see how he does. We're all pulling for him. We're pulling for each other. As much as we rag on one another constantly, we love all of us to have perfect days. There's nothing better than all of us making, as Billy likes to say, making the bread. We all want to make the bread. We all want to be bakers at the end of the day. So it's all in good fun, all the jesting that we do back and forth. Unless someone goes super cold for a few days and gets maybe a little sensitive, like I was a little butthurt earlier today. It happens. So then I just stopped. I started ignoring Billy all day.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that and everything. But everybody, thank you very much again for tuning in, coming to watch us, and we will see you guys next week, you degenerates.